Now, frauds and scams are constantly evolving, and the holiday season can be particularly worrisome as fraudsters try to take advantage of the most vulnerable. We have talked a lot about artificial intelligence on Life Unrehearsed, or AI as it's known. There's the good, the bad, and the ugly, and some of the ugly can be seen in an increase in scams to the public using AI, particularly seniors. However, not all scams are super sophisticated. Many scams can be very basic, yet still worrisome. Well, I'd like to bring in Eric Ouimet. Eric is a fraud awareness coach. He works with communities and families to spread fraud awareness. He helps people recognize scams, understand how fraud has evolved, and feel confident protecting themselves in a digital world. He's also the owner of Anticipa, a company specializing in fraud awareness and prevention. Eric joins me in studio. Eric, welcome to Life Unrehearsed.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Thank you for joining me. Such an important topic, always evolving. Really appreciate you taking some time. I know you came from up north to join us here in the studio. And so let's just, from the big picture perspective, Eric, what are some of the most popular frauds and scams that you're seeing out there?
So, I mean, there's a large spectrum of fraud, right? So in my sessions, what I try and do is keep everything real basic and simple. So the way I can categorize fraud is into two different parts. So there's what I call trickery fraud. So this is common. This is like your everyday spam texts, your emails, anything where they're trying to access some basic information. I call them your modern day pickpockets. So they're trying to get, a credit card number off you. They're trying to get you to buy some gift cards, anything like that. So in terms of, the grand scale, it's smaller amounts that they're looking for, and they're just trying to trick you. And then there's the bigger fraud, which is now you're starting to get into emotional manipulation. So that's where you're going to get, your grandparent scheme is one of them. The romance scheme, which is a big one. Crypto, anything where they're trying to get to know you better. It's more like a long con. So I call these more your modern day con artists. So they're able to reach out to you, digitally.
Interesting. And sometimes it's just a simple little text. I was talking to you off air half an hour ago. I get a text from TELUS. I'm a TELUS customer, and text from TELUS, and you haven't used your reward points, and you want to cash them in. Literally half an hour ago. And there's, I guess, an example of the digital pickpocketers. Very simple.
Exactly.
And if I didn't have you on the show knowing we're talking about it, I might have clicked on it without even knowing it.
And that's what they're counting on, right? It's just a question of moment in time. So I often say, well, I'm so down this rabbit hole for scams. I'm like, I can never be caught. But this summer, I got a text saying, your Pure Later shipment is delayed or whatever it was. And normally I'd be like, oh, that's spam. But we were right in the middle of a postal strike. And I had ordered something on Amazon or whatever it was. So I hesitated. It almost got me. And again, it just hit me at the right moment, at the right time. And that's what phishing is, right? Is you have lines in the water until somebody bites. And
so I guess specifically for text, really question that text you are receiving. Right. Usually there's a link in there that they're asking you to click. And is that kind of a...
So generally, if it's anything financial, they're not going to send you a link. They're going to either send you either call, but if they're asking you to follow a link, always be skeptical. Even if it looks legit, there's one that's very common. It's one of the few French ones that I've seen. It's for the A25 toll road, where it says, you went over, you haven't paid your, whatever it is, your fee, now your license is going to be suspended. So it's playing on fear, you're supposed to react quickly, and I followed the link just to see what it would do, and it is a very similar copy of the website, except it's not the same URL. Mm-hmm. So they're just going to use that as a two-way mirror the second I put my credit card number in there, and now they've logged all my information. So,
listening to Life Unrehearsed, Matt Del Vecchio here. I'm talking with fraud awareness coach Eric Ouimet. Eric, I want to dig a little deeper into the grandparent scam. Yes. It is evolving. First of all, what is the grandparent scam, and what do we do to look out for it and to avoid it?
So it is evolving, but the beauty of that scam is its simplicity. So they're just playing on it's social engineering at its finest. So a lot of people are worried that AI is going to slowly take over and replicate. What AI is really good at for fraud is it's giving them a door in. So it can replicate a voice. So often it's a grandchild that's calling saying, I'm in trouble. almost all the scenarios I've seen involves a car accident where they're passenger in the car, or they were driving the car and there was weed in the car, or they were drinking and there was something and they've, been pulled over by the police. But they can replicate that voice. But at some point, they're going to pass you to someone. So let's just, it's a bailiff or a police officer or somebody. And then that's where the emotional manipulation will start. So the grandparent scam is they're really just calling to hit on your emotions. They're trying to hit you with urgency. It's something that has to be done immediately, and it has to be done quietly. Please don't tell my parents. They're going to be so upset with me. So there are a few ways to prepare yourself for this in advance. But I mean, my in-laws have had 4 calls in the last 2 months, and good friends of ours, his mother was contacted by her grandson, who she's Italian, and he spoke Italian. So whoever was faking this voice had done some homework. And she fortunately was not caught, but she's still, upset by this. So
specifically for grandparent scam, and then we'll talk a bigger picture very quickly.
Yes.
What can we do to prevent that grandparent scam? You're still not sure. There's the emotions playing.
Right.
I've heard to ask for their phone number and call them back, or just call your grandchild, or what should people do?
So there's a number of ways to do it, and what they're planning on your panic. So you're not thinking quite straight, but you can really do easy tactics. You can say, just, what's your middle name? Or actually, my in-laws, he says, well, what's your first name? Because often they'll say, hey, grandma, hey, grandpa, but they're not suggesting their name. They're waiting for you to say, Liam, is this you? And then you've just volunteered that information for them. So if you just say, who is this? What's your name? And the second you start to question, for example, if they say, well, what car are you in? Or which friend were you with? Something that's very specific, most of the times they'll just hang up, because now they know that you're starting to question it. So they're planning on you being terrified. Do not tell my parents. I just need someone to pick up some money so that you can bail me out of jail or whatever it is. And it's sad because it's really playing on the emotional side of it.
And if the worst comes to worst, you're calling your son or your daughter, or you're even calling the grandchild.
Right.
Hang up. I'm going to call you back.
Right.
And all right, we've already run out of time. We're going to have you back. There's so many different prevention methods. However, you're doing a lot of presentations now. Good on you, becoming high in demand, really. And you've done a career shift, and really, I think you're giving a lot of value added to people. How can our listeners get a hold of you if they want to hear from you and do a little presentation?
Yeah, so what I try and do is just quick, brief awareness presentations. I do them interactive, in person as much as I can, just to spread awareness and attack fraud before it gets to the financial side of it. So best way to reach out to me is LinkedIn. You can reach me. It's Eric Ouimet, Ouimet. I'm very active on there. And then I have a website as well, Anticipa, so it's anticipa.ca.
Okay, perfect.
You can reach me there.
All right, Eric, thank you very much.
It's been great.
All right, that's Eric Ouimet, fraud awareness coach and owner of Anticipa. I'll repeat that again, Anticipa, and it's a company specializing in fraud awareness and prevention.